What's going on, Jerome homies? So I understand. Vikings hesitation about the draft. Kwesi, 2022, parts of 2023. 2024 should work out. J.J. McCarthy, Diamond Dallas Turner, Will Rackard, etc. But how can the Vikings approach this 2025 class? Now, they don't have a ton of draft picks. Right, so they got the first at the back end, 24, the third round comp pick, a fifth and a sixth. That's it. That's it. Now you could say that, well, they do well with UDFA, so focus on that. But overall, there still is many ways that the Vikings can have a successful 2025 draft, notably because of the flatness of the talent pool. And we said from picks 15 to 100, there's going to be several very good starters. This is a starter draft, and it wouldn't shock me at all if there's third, fourth, fifth round picks that are consistent contributors and starters around the league, and the Vikings can certainly take a part of that. Long story longer, Ben Solak over at ESPN. Vikings fans I know are very polarized on Ben. I feel like he's good to go, though. But 2025 NFL draft, all 32 teams can crush their draft picks, fill needs. Now, I think that the Vikings roster right now is currently set up to go true blue BPA, which is some great work by Kwesi and free agency over the last two seasons, as well as hanging on, extending tentpole pieces for this team. So there's a lot of wants as opposed to needs. Like, we want a tight end 3 that could eventually take over, a left guard, some more defensive line pass rush help, a corner, safety, all that stuff. But Ben gets into this here. Vikings picks 24, 97, 139, 187. Bingo. I don't think there's a world in which the Vikings get an A without some substantial trading down. Minnesota has no second, fourth, or seventh round picks in this draft. Oh, Lord. Oh, the Vapors. We have no seventh rounders. Somewhere Rick Spielman is passing out. And it is missing next year's fourth and sixth as well. Sam Darnold should return a nice compensatory selection, though. Well, we're in line for a third and at least a fifth, maybe even a third and a fourth, maybe a seventh if Shaq Griffin signs with the Seahawks. The good news about the lack of draft capital is that the Vikings roster is rarely good. So they don't have any immediate needs to fill, which is nice. And the Vikings certainly did have needs coming into free agency, but the Vikings doubled down on running back, re-signing Aaron Jones, trading for Jordan Mason, also doubling down along the offensive line. Kelly in for Bradbury, Will Fries in for Ed Ingram, Allen and Hargrave in for Chili, as well as Jonathan Bullard. And then corner-wise, re-signing Murph and bringing in Isaiah Rodgers, which is really good to go. The good news, a starting safety replace Cameron Bynum would be nice, meaning Malachi Starks, Georgia, or Nick Emenwari, South Carolina, could be in play at number 24. But then again, they have to get serious about trading down in round 3 and 4 for future draft capital. So, safety-wise, I know the Beasley left, but the Vikings really believe in Theo Jackson, and they gave him that 2-year patchwork deal ahead of him starting, just like the Vikings did with Metellus a couple off seasons ago. And I think that Jackson, whenever he's been in, he's made plays. The coaches love him. The team loves him. So I think that the national media is underestimating Theo Jackson. I think Theo's going to be good to go. Woo, he is for real. Then, whoever the Vikings take at safety, they must prioritize range. That's what Bynum brought that Harrison Smith and Josh Metellus lacked. Should they pass in round 1, Billy Bowman has some similarities to Bynum for his playmaking ability and small build, and could make a good round 3 target. I'd be more worried about the vacant snaps at quarterback left by Stephon Gilmore. I don't know. Like, did you watch Gilmore at the back end of last year? And Shaq Griffin, if not for the fact that both remain unsigned. If the Vikings leave this draft with meager cornerback reinforcements, expect one or both to be re-signed. With later picks, I'd expect a Tracy corner to challenge for that cornerback 2 job, maybe Oklahoma State's Corey Black, a defense tackle that provide flexibility for Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen's deals. Trade down, accumulate future draft capital, get a safety. So, the Vikings certainly potentially could trade down, and they're one of the teams that has been linked precipitously to trading down. But of course, it takes 2 to tango. You need someone to want to come up. And as we said, given the flatness of this draft class, I don't know if a team will be so excited to condense multiple day 2 picks, second, third round, and even fourth round picks to just get one back into the first round pick, because this is a draft that has a couple of superstars, and then all of a sudden you have 100 picks of players that are relatively similar, right? Because this is such a weird draft. Like, there's going to be players of the similar caliber drafted in the teens that you'll be able to find deep in round 2, early round 3. And that is what it is. So, yeah, the Vikings obviously would love to trade down. Safety-wise, So I'm not mad about it because Harrison Smith probably is only back for one more year. Carry on my Jay Ward son is more of a special teams guy. Bubba Bolden is a name. So adding some more safety depth, and it's not because it's not so much that Flores loves the three safety look. It's the hand that he was dealt, because Beasley, Metellus, Harrison Smith were three of the best defensive players, so that he crafted a defense around it. He hadn't really used a three safety look during his stops before. But in terms of filling in safety talent, yeah, Emanwari Starks would be great, but if the Vikings trade down, are able to stay in day two, Xavier for Watts from Notre Dame. Makuba obviously is one of our crushes. Kevin Winston Jr., physical, amazing from Penn State, although you worry about that health. Kevin was talking about Ransom is there. Craig Woodson, I think, is super underrated. If you want to go that Cal route again, Malachi Moore has that physicality. Billy Bowman, who we mentioned, is one of my favorite players in this draft. So I think the Vikings do have safety options outside of the first round. It would be great if they could trade down. And also, Ben mentioned cornerback. As I've said before, I kind of feel okay about the cornerback room. I know that that's controversial, but with Murph starting, Isaiah Rodgers I see as an every down player. So those two are your starting cornerbacks. And then when you go sub package, Mekhi Blackman, third-round pick from 2023, fully healed from that ACL. Could he be the third guy in? So you'd have Rodgers, Blackman on the outside, Murph in the slot, or Nudie, or Jeff Okudah gets things going again. So overall, I understand why there's a lot of consternation, because there is a lot of question marks, but I kind of feel okay about cornerback. Now, if certain players fall in the mid rounds where the Vikings are selecting, I wouldn't be mad taking a corner, but I don't think it's the sell the farm need that other people are making it out to be. I just really don't. But I guess we'll see. But of course, different strokes, different folks, styles make fights, and all that stuff. But Ben Solak, ESPN, how the Vikings can crush it. Basically, trade down and take a safety. We'll see. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, his thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol. Production value.